remember once I took my friend out for pizza. She was like, let's get gluten-free pizza. And I'm like, great. It was not good. She's like, oh, she loved it. She was like, this is so good, blah, blah. And I was like, I'm glad you like it, because I think it's fucking shit. Today, we're going to make scones, gluten-free scones. Now, don't think of these as like gluten-free scones where you're like, gluten-free, they're not gonna taste good, because this tastes fucking delicious. The flour that we're using is almond flour. I'm not gonna say this is really good for you. That's a fucking lie, okay? Because I'm gonna add some sugar to this shit and it's not gonna be that good for you anymore. Now, you can also find almond meal. Almond meal and almond flour are pretty interchangeable, except almond flour has usually been sifted. So it's a little bit more fine than almond meal. So we've got our almond flour in here. We've got some sugar, just normal white sugar. Some salt, just there. Baking soda. Fun fact for you guys. People are like, can I swap baking soda for baking powder? Baking soda is 4 times as strong as baking powder. It's a leavener, so it's gonna activate that initial time when it gets mixed with the acid, the buttermilk, whatever. Now baking powder will activate twice, once when you mix it wet the first time, and then the second time in the oven when it's rising, when the heat gets to it, okay? Make sense? I think that does. If it doesn't, and if I am wrong, because I know I fucking am fucking up a little bit of that right now, Google it. I think I'm pretty accurate. If not, whatever. Okay, back to this. We're gonna mix this together with our butter. Unsalted butter, as usual. This is about 4 tablespoons. You'll notice I cubed it up in here. We're just gonna mix all this together, just like this, with our little hands. I feel like a food processor, sometimes you'll overwork it, but that's what I'm doing with my hands right now. By putting in the food processor, it'll just kind of make it almost into like a little brick. I don't want a brick of scone. I want a delicious, sweet, fun scone. And that's what that's gonna be. Okay, so using our hands, more control. Make sense? Yeah, it does make sense. You're right, Farideh. That's my word today, is make sense. Make sense? Make sense? It does make sense. Dun, da, da, dun. Baking sheet, I prepared already with parchment paper. I'm gonna add my buttermilk in. This is only 3 tablespoons. If you wanted, you could make this dairy-free as well and not put buttermilk in. You could use soy milk or almond milk. I did this once with soy milk and it came out great. Still, look, I'm using, that's my little tricksy to get all that. Just throw some flour in it. See that, Peter? Throw the flour in it. Scoops it out. Gluten stuff doesn't affect me like the way it might a celiac person, but I do have a lot of friends who eat gluten-free, and I wanted to make a recipe for dessert that they could eat that I also would like. And this makes everyone happy. It makes me happy, which is the most important thing, and then also my friends. So now I'm just kind of forming it into usually about 6 inches across, just like this. Okay, so just patting it, little patty cake. This is what they mean by patty cake, do you think? Patty cake, baker's man. Bake me a cake as fast as you can. Roll it, something, and mark it with a B. Put it in the oven for Peter and me. Oh, that's weird. Okay, here we go. Things just got weird. Okay, so we've got our little patty cake here. This is so good. Like the dough is so good just on its own. Like if this was just like, you know, all-purpose flour or whatever, you don't want to eat raw flour like that, whatever. But you could eat this dough. Like you could actually just like eat this. You could roll it up and fucking eat these balls like that. Maybe. So we're gonna cut this into, like I said, 6 wedges, so it cuts really nice and easily. So we're cutting it little pizza guys. So, and then they just come up, look, nice little wedges, so easy. So I'm just gonna put it on here, parchment lined, prepped fucking shit. God, I'm cursing up a storm right now. Where's Farideh's curse counter today, huh? I was like, I'm gonna stop cursing for the rest of this. Oh, fuck. Hold on, this one got a little wonky here. So, just gonna brush a little bit of cream over the top. If you wanted to, you could just use buttermilk on this. Buttermilk, I feel like that's one of those Googled things, and you can't buy buttermilk in like a pint or a quart container or whatever. You can only usually buy it in a quart, and then it's like, what do I do with the rest of this buttermilk? So some people are like, I don't have that ingredient, what can I use? You can alternate and you can use equal amount of milk and just add like a splash, like a teaspoon or so of lemon juice, because that's gonna help curdle it and give it that sour taste. Because the whole thing about buttermilk is it's a little bit sour. You can also use yogurt as a substitute. So if you have like a plain yogurt in your fridge, use that instead of buttermilk. Or if you want to use the milk, add a little bit of yada, 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 whatever. Also, like I said before, you could use almond milk or soy milk. It's all gonna be fine. We're gonna sprinkle this with some demerara sugar. I kind of like that it crystallizes on there, it cooks on there, and then it's almost like creme brulee because it has like a little bit of like crispiness on the top. Okay, a little bit of sugar on the top. And then we're gonna bake these at 400 degrees for about like 12 to 14 minutes. They're gonna get nice and golden around the edges. They're gonna rise a little bit and like kind of get really like delicate and flakier and just delicious. Okay, so to the oven we go. Next up is a couple things. We're gonna whip some cream, but we're also going to cook our fruit. I wanted to do a summer dessert, kind of like strawberry shortcake, because I love strawberry shortcake and I think it's just the best. This is not that, okay? I wish it was a little bit, but I wanted to do something like that and I couldn't do the same exact recipe, so I did this with the old gluten-free almond scones, and then instead of strawberries, we're using nectarines and blueberries. You could use any fruit that you want. Peter is bored of me whipping cream on camera. So we're gonna go nice and slow. So we got cream, vanilla, confectioner's sugar. We're gonna whip it, okay? Just like this, nice and slow. Taking our time, just like this, because Peter. You could use Cool Whip. Cool Whip is such a good ingredient. Can we talk about Cool Whip for a second? I don't know what it is. If you take it out from frozen and put it in the fridge for like 2 hours to like slightly defrost, it's so good semi-frozen with like your fruit and stuff. Oh man, Cool Whip. Cool Whip is just the best. I should be an ambassador for Cool Whip. Look at that. That's like perfect. This is the best part about baking. When I was a kid with my mom, I think this is true for any child, this is what you want. This is what you're waiting for, is eat the fucking cookie dough or the whipped cream or whatever off of the spoon, the spatula, the bowl. Oh yeah, we are gonna work with our fucking fruit. We've got some nice clean fruits. I'm gonna just cut some wedges out of the fruit, throw in our blueberries into here. Look at them, right into the butter. So throwing that in there. Also, nectarines and blueberries cooking together like this just look so pretty. See how the blueberries kind of color it? They're kind of bursting a little bit. Skins, they kind of like heat up and like explode. This is your ultimate summer dessert. It's a crowd pleaser. I made this for a barbecue recently and motherfuckers were eating this non-stop. This one kid, I was like plating up and he came in and ate 4 of the scones before I even had a chance to plate it. It was really annoying. But the scones are so good just as is. I am gonna add a little bit of sugar into this. This is like a couple teaspoons or something. I might not use all of it because you don't just, like I said, just a taste. It only needs a little bit. I kind of like that they're a little underripe because then you're gonna still have a little bit of bite when you're eating the fruit. I want it to have a little bit of that al dente-ness. No one ever refers to fruit as al dente. I just did. There you go. Look, it's pretty much done. Like the berries have kind of burst. You can see it. It's this beautiful color. We're good. And just like that, the scones are done. Everything came together exactly at the same time. Ugh. Look at them. Nice and golden. They kind of cracked a little bit here and there. Ooh, look at this. It's so exciting. So look, here's my scone. Golden on the outside, crackly and delicious. The bottom has a nice light brown color. The inside, it's still like a little bit doughy and stuff, but it's nice. It's like, it's just perfect. It's like delicious, just as is. I forgot to mention little crystals of demerara sugar on the top. Come on, everyone's eating today. Amanda, can you catch? Look at her with the fucking sling. Now these are perfect just like this, but they're better with all the fixins. Get some of that extra juice, get a little drizzle. This cream is perfect. It'd be better if it was Cool Whip, but whatever, I'm gonna use regular cream. Oh, look, it just slides right off. Like, all together, this shit is so fucking good. Damn. So well balanced with like the nuttiness of the almonds, the sweetness of the fruit and of the whipped cream. Like, the berries and everything are warm, and then the cream just like melts into it like that. Leave me alone so I can just eat this now by myself. For the recipe, click the link in the description below. Don't forget to post it. #CookMunchies. Thank you. Bye. Peace. Bye. Whatever. Later. Bye. Okay, who wants some?